We're going to talk Paralympics. Our guru is here. Janet Whitton is here. Thanks again for being here, Janet. Before we talk Paralympics, though, does it surprise you that Tatiana has decided to retire?
In a sense, yes. But in a sense, if you've ever met her, you will know how much a balance in her life was so important, and she spoke about that all the way through the time that she was at the very top of swimming. And she's just gotten married, and I can only presume, I don't know, she's possibly thinking about starting a family, and that kind of balance has always been important to her. So I think that just kind of having a normal life, the celebrity life, is not something that ever attracted her, and I think that's. Isn't it a privilege to be able to go out on top like that?
Yes, I think that's the key. Just live while you are still on top. And talking about people being on top, you're always the bearer of good news. When you come here, there's a medal that's in the bag, and Pumilelo Mhlongo has just done it. Just before we came into the show, he was taking part in the 200 meters. He was in the T64 200 meters, which is in essence a classification above where he really is, and he won a bronze medal. Yeah. And just to show how extraordinary that performance is. First of all, he did it in a world record, so it's a world record in his own classification. The two athletes that were faster than him were both in the T64 category. He has a disability in his lower limbs, deficiencies in his lower limbs. He competes without a prosthesis, the others compete with one. And that becomes important in the context of balance in things like sprinting. So the fact that he could come third and beat a lot of people in that classification above him is extraordinary. He's had an extraordinary Paralympics, absolutely fantastic. So extraordinary that he broke a world record in the long jump, but he still finished fifth, and a lot of people couldn't understand that. Can you explain why he would break a world record and still not medal? And the gold medal that he won wasn't a world record, and that is because that was the one event. The gold medal that he won in the 100 meters was a T44 race, so everybody who he was running against was in the same category as his. But in the 200 and in the long jump, he's competing. They've combined two of the categories because it's essentially partly because there aren't enough people competing in each category separately. So they combine categories that they think are close enough together to make a more or less even playing field. But as you can see, I mean, you know, world records in a fifth place and a world record in a bronze medal shows the playing fields aren't exactly even, but a great performance anyway. And overall, how do you view Team South Africa's performance so far? The last weekend of the game, 6 medals in the bag. There's potentially 2 more. One tonight with Collen Mahlalela, and there's a possibility he qualified really well in that. And then Luzanne Coetzee is running in the marathon tomorrow, and the marathon in the Paralympics, just like the Olympics, tends to be a little bit of a lottery. You know, it depends how you're feeling on the day, what happens on the day, how everyone else is feeling on the day. So that's difficult to say. She has won one of those medals that we've won already. So we've got 6, 2 golds and 4 bronze medals. We're down in 44th on the medals table, partly because we have no silvers, and they put you in the order on the medals table according to how many golds, then how many silvers, then how many bronze. The total is in essence irrelevant. So we probably would have hoped to do a little bit better than that. But just to show you just how well our athletes have competed at these Paralympics, I have a list in front of me of the Africa records that our team has broken. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 athletes have broken African records, some of them multiple times. Alani Ferreira has broken 4. Christian Sadie has broken 3. So they are competing to the very best, if not beyond their abilities. And I think that don't detract from actually how good they've been. Just because they haven't got a number of gold medals or a certain number of silver medals that you would have liked to see them win, doesn't mean they haven't been performing extraordinarily.
And I guess it's worth noting that the team is smaller than in previous Paralympic Games. Also known Tando Mahlangu. This time around, he was always a sure bet for a medal.
Yes, he certainly was. And what's nice about this team also, like the athletics team at the Olympics, is there's quite a few youngsters here. So some of these athletes are going to be around for a while. Even somebody like Christian Sadie, who seems to have been around forever already. He's only 26 years old. And Paralympic athletes tend to have a slightly longer span in their careers than the Olympic athletes. So he's got at least another Paralympics in him, I would think, unless he decides to retire now. And then Simone Kruger, who won a gold medal yesterday, she's only 19 years old. Lots still to come.
Yeah, and who have been some of your standout performers? You've mentioned Pumelelo, you've mentioned Luzanne a little bit.
And Puseletso Mabotse has also been good. He's been very unlucky. He broke a Paralympic record in the heats of the 100 meters, but then was slightly slower in the final, and actually only, I think he was fifth, if I'm not mistaken. But I think he's had he's not as experienced as some of the others, and I think he's had a really good event. Alani Ferreira is one of those swimmers who's been around for a long time. She's been in our team for a long time, and she really is an also athlete. She, you know, a nearly there athlete.
Also red.
Yeah, and also red. A nearly there athlete. Yeah. She swims so well, and as I mentioned, she's had 4 African records, but she hasn't got a lot of silverware to actually show for her performance, and I think that she's been great. Nathan Hendricks needs to be mentioned too. He's only broken one African record, but he's competed in so many events, and he reached the final in just about every one of them, and that's not to be sneezed at. I mean, that really is. He's been so busy, and he's competed in such a lot, and he's actually competed really, really well.
And in the tennis, our quad boys there, Donna Rampadi, as well as the comeback kid, Lucas Sithole.
I'm so pleased for them. I mean, you know, those two. Lucas Sithole has been around for a while. Donald Rampadi's had a really successful last couple of years. He's had some really good performances at Grand Slams. Yeah. So the two of them together, I mean, weren't they fantastic? Weren't those photos of them after them? Lucas falling right over. Fantastic. They deserve it so much, and I'm pleased for them because they've worked hard for that. They really did work hard for that, so that was good to see.
Peter Dupree is another one that we haven't mentioned also.
I think people might have been expecting a little bit more from him. He's a gold medal winner previously, but a bronze medal in the time trial was a really good performance, and unfortunately he didn't finish the road race, so we don't know what he could have done then. But I mean, you know, he's not called Super Pit for nothing. I mean, he's such a hard worker. He does Ironman. That's what he's kind of bread and butter is, to do Ironman. And I mean, to do Ironman when you're able-bodied is hard enough. To do it when you have got some kind of disability, to me, is just absolutely mind-boggling.
And guess who we have on the line? Paralympic bronze medalist Donald Rampadi joins us now. Donna, good evening from us on Sports Live on SABC. I hope you're well and you can hear us loud and clear.
Good evening, man. Yeah, I can definitely hear you guys.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be a Paralympic medalist?
Man, it's amazing, man. It's amazing, especially because I actually had a couple of interviews, and you know, I promised people that, you know, I'm gonna bring back a medal of any color, and I'm glad that I actually, you know, kept my promise.
And did you expect it to come in the doubles, or did you think the medal was more likely to come in the singles, Donna?
To be honest, I just had something in me that, you know, there will be a medal, because you must also remember that Lucas Sithole, we were not sure if he was gonna make it. He was gonna make it to the Paralympics. So the fact that he got a wild card and you know, we got a bronze in a double set. It was just something that I was actually happy about, because when he actually got the wild card, I knew that I had a double chance, which it was something very great for the country.
And would you have played with him before? How many times would you have practiced with him before these games?
To be honest, you know, we haven't played a lot. We only play when we go to the World Team Cup. That's the only time we get a chance to actually play together. So going into the double, to be honest, I was not even expecting the result. And for us to actually play like how we played, it's just magical. I mean, Lucas has been around for the longest time. He has his experience and all that. So I mean, we just connected, man, and looking forward to go to play more tournament because I hope that he actually will start traveling from next year so that we can play more tournaments together, maybe even the Grand Slams.
Yeah, and what do you need in that journey? What kind of support? Because I know there have been challenges over the years.
I mean, with him, remember he was banned. Yeah. So now that he came back, when he was banned, he lost a lot of his sponsors and all that. And now that he's getting back and people starting to come through and helping, him with traveling and all that. It's nice that people are actually doing that. And also, I mean, this is something that we've been having for the longest time. I mean, we wish that, people can come out with numbers and just try and help us with this traveling thing because, to be honest, traveling is a bit expensive,
Yeah, and that's why in some tournaments he can't even go with his coach there, Donald Rampari, bronze medalist from the Paralympic Games alongside Lucas Sitole in the wheelchair quad doubles there, beating the Brazilians and the same Brazilians that had actually knocked him out in the first round of the singles there. But thanks, Donald, for joining us briefly here on Sports Live, and thanks once again to Janet for that update at the Paralympics. Hopefully, Collen Mahlalela can add another medal to that tally of 6.